Welcome to Egg Foo What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff.
Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to another episode of Egg Foo. What? Greetings, Mike.
Greetings. I was thinking about adding something there because I'm looking at the competition.
You haven't gotten that right in 6 months. Let's add to the degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I'm looking around at the competition in the food podcasts. And
what's the competition?
Well, I was looking specifically at the Doughboys.
Oh, right.
You claim to be a fan of.
Well, I used to subscribe to them. I hadn't really listened to them in a couple of years, but yeah, I know. Yeah, I assume they're still kicking it.
Yeah, they're still kicking it. You know, they have a snack of the day, I guess. But here's the thing: we don't need to see you eat the snack, do we? Do we really want to see that? I mean, I don't need to see people chew on camera.
Yeah, I don't love that.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do? Where are you watching that? You're watching this on YouTube?
Well, I see they throw it up on Twitter.
Like clips of them actually eating?
Clips. Yeah. They had a clip of, I guess, some Twix product, some new variation on the Twix theme. And you got a fair amount of.
I can't picture what they look like, but I'm guessing I don't really want to see either of these two dudes eating.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not.
I say that for everybody. I mean, it's, I know it's part of the game, but I don't know if we need to see the actual chewing. I'm assuming you're eating whatever's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get straight to the commentary. I mean, how many times have we seen a celebrity on, one of these morning shows, what have you? They cook a dish. We got to see them eat. Did they ever say they're disgusted by it? No. It's a cliche.
My dream was always, because they always have to act like, oh my God, this is it's an orgasm. It's the most amazing. Yeah. I want to be the guy that just goes around and goes, yeah, it's good.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. That's the way most food is, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting knocked out on every bite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking to shit all over anything, but it's like you take a couple of bites, you're like, yeah, it's good. It's fine. I don't need you to roll around the floor with your eyes rolling to the back of your head, writing a country western song about everything you try to eat.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, if Jennifer Beals circa 1983 wants to show herself eating a lemon meringue pie or whatever, or roast beef dinner, I'm probably going to watch.
Okay.
I don't need to see the Doughboys eating anything.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see me eating anything.
Yeah. No, nobody wants to see me eating anything. No. And I've been accused by various people. I don't do this intentionally. Apparently, I'm a lip smacker.
Oof.
Yeah. No. Like I said, it's not something I'm doing.
Is that what lip smacking sounds like?
No. I had a friend of mine who would do after drinking, eating, and when he's chowing down, he would make that noise. Nom, nom, nom.
Is he saying num num num?
Yeah,
it's literally just making sounds like.
It's a drunken version of that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny is you're a super slow eater as well. Because
here we go again. Here we go.
People are usually horrified with how fast I eat. They're just generally grossed up, but it just disappears into my mouth. There's no lip smacking because by the time you realize I'm eating,
you're a wolfer. You wolfer.
I'm a wolfer.
Yeah.
Your favorite word, wolfer. I'm like that snake that bites you 8 times before you realize you've been bit once. By the time you even notice there's a McNugget gone, they're all gone.
The wolf of McDonald's.
The wolf of McDonald's. The wolf of McAdee Street.
I just wanted to offer
if McDonald's would like to sponsor us, by all means.
Do you go to McDonald's a lot?
Not a lot. There's one near my office. I don't know. I try not to. Well, for one thing, when you work with people who are under the age of 50,
Mhm.
if they see you walking in with anything McDonald's, it's like you cut a fart in church. The young people
Really?
are
Wow. Okay.
horrified.
So the young people are turning their nose against McDonald's.
Well, I wouldn't say that because obviously McDonald's is making, you don't see any golden arches going out of business.
Right.
But every young person I know working is like, if they sense McDonald's presence in the building, they're just grossed out and horrified.
Well, the smell is overwhelming.
It is distinctive,
Yeah.
but
And
if you walk in with a Chick-fil-A bag, that's okay, even though it's all the same shit. It's all just fast food. It's fried. Now you want to tell me Chick-fil-A is 1% healthier? Fine, but it's the same thing. If you walk in an office with a bag of Chick-fil-A, that is one thing. If you walk in with a bag of McDonald's, you get the side eye, you get the curled up grouse.
wow.
All the girls stop sleeping with you, everything.
I mean, I kind of agree with that reception in a bar. I was at my local establishment a few months ago, and I don't even know why they allowed this. I mean, after a certain time, they stopped serving food, and I guess this group of people decided, well, I can't get a burger at my bar. I'm going to bring in a bag of McDonald's. And of course, it sunk up the place immediately. I was in the, near to this, and I'm like, what? I smelt it before I saw it.
I am a fierce defender of McDonald's.
Hmm.
I think I get defensive because it's so people get all, it's easy to be snotty about it.
Hmm.
But it is like I remember back when I ruled New York City. If you're on the train, if anybody within three subway cars has McDonald's, you smell it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Which doesn't mean it's bad, but it is distinctive.
Yeah.
But yeah, but for some reason, Chick-fil-A is okay, but not McDonald's.
Yeah. Don't bring it into a bar.
Well, first of all, this is not the first time you've talked about people bringing a bunch of food into the bar you're at.
Oh, okay.
What are you serving these people that also everybody's like starving all of a sudden and they need to eat a pile of food?
No, I just described the situation. It is a bar restaurant that I go to, but after a
Bar
certain,
restaurant. Okay.
yeah, after 10 o'clock, they stop serving food. The kitchen guys go home, but you can continue to sit at the bar.
Yeah. Now, are you grossed out because the McDonald's scent, or you just don't like people bringing food in?
It's both, actually. I mean,
Well, I mean, if you're
they
the
should know better.
bartender, you want them there. You don't want them leaving.
No, yeah, I think that's why this bartender made the call. I mean, it was a kind of a big group. I think it was at least 6 people, and that's why the smell was so overwhelming. So think of McDonald's for 6. It wasn't somebody got a kiddie meal or something. It was
McDonald's for 6.
bags of burgers and fries.
Sounds dreamy. Now, the ironic thing about McDonald's is the worst thing about them is their burgers. Everything else is fantastic. Obviously, their fries, their ice cream.
Their ice cream.
Huh?
Their ice cream.
Ice cream is fantastic.
I've never bought ice cream at McDonald's in my life.
Get yourself a vanilla cone at McDonald's. First of all, it's like $1. And it is super light and creamy. It is great. And all the chicken stuff is fantastic. They do have good salads.
Salads.
They do.
Have you tried the quarter? The only thing I'll get there now is the quarter pounder with cheese, which a revolutionary thing happened at McDonald's. They're using fresh ground meat.
Yeah, I remember that big announcement. Like,
Ground beef.
God, it's only been 100 years. I'm glad you finally came around to.
No, I got on board early when it happened. I said, oh, now I have let me give this a shot, and it's not a bad hamburger.
No.
It's better than their other hamburger fare.
Well, that quarter pounder recently, and for some reason they use a different bun with the quarter pounder. And the top of it, the texture, it tears like paper.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand that. It tastes
I haven't had that
fine.
experience.
It's really next time. Notice the bun is different.
Mhm.
The texture is like paper for some reason.
Uh,
Not once you're chewing it, but when you tear into it. I don't know why they use a different bun. And don't get me started on the Big Mac. For some reason, the Big Mac has been around for 50 years. I have never gotten through a Big Mac without it just totally crumbling into pieces.
oh
all
yeah,
over.
I agree with that. I mean, the Big Mac used to be my go-to,
Mhm.
but the last few times I've had it, it was kind of, I don't know if they're putting more of the special sauce on there. And I think the more special sauce you have, the more likely the thing is just going to crumble in your hands in a soggy mess.
Yeah.
So
There's no structural integrity.
no.
There's only one piece of cheese, even though it's like 8 inches tall. But and plus, the diameter of the burger
Mhm.
is exactly the same as the width of the box. So when you reach into it, your fingers already start tearing up the buns. So already it's compromised as you drag it out, and then it just immediately starts falling apart. I don't know how this, and I like the Big Mac,
Mhm.
but I don't know how this has been the flagship anchor item.
Yeah.
Not just at McDonald's, but fast food in general. It's a shortcut. You say Big Mac in any context, people know what you're talking about. It's shorthand.
I still don't understand why they never lost that middle piece of bread. I mean, does it serve any purpose?
Well, I mean that's an argument. That's fine, but it wasn't until a couple of years ago I even discovered there's only one piece of cheese
Mhm.
at the very bottom.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand that. How's this so popular for 50 years? It just there's no structural integrity. You can't grab it out of the box without it just falling to shreds.
Mhm.
And there's one piece of cheese on this mountain of a sandwich.
Yeah, you should at least get one piece of cheese per burger. One on the
Yes,
top, one on the bottom.
one for every patty.
Yeah.
I think in the past I've taken out that middle piece before. It's fine, but yeah, McDonald's is just shorthand for garbage. But if you did dig a little deeper, it's no worse than any other restaurant.
It's a
Why
bold
did you
claim.
Why did you
Bold
initially
claim.
ask me about McDonald's? I can't remember now.
Uh-huh. I mean, in my circles, Taco Bell is the lowest of the low. And I actually have a McDonald's and Taco Bell
Mm.
within, 50 yards.
Yeah, Yeah.
So they're right there represented in my town.
yeah,
That's
tough. It's like when I lived in Richmond for a brief time. I was within 30 seconds of 3 different 7-Elevens, so I was like,
Mhm.
no chance of me surviving that.
Yeah. I hope McDonald's is listening because I think we just redesigned the Big Mac for them. No charge.
Well, maybe a little charge. I mean,
Well, if they go forward with it, yes.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll edit that no charge part out.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't be the first person to discover this thing just falls apart after 50 years. So.
No.
And that again, that's as someone who loves the Big Mac.
Uh-huh. I've had my share, and I agree wholeheartedly. That thing
I'll
falls
tell you what
apart.
I used to love. When there were years where I'd swear every time I got chicken McNuggets, they gave me an extra one. There always seemed to be one extra McNugget.
Okay.
And that happened to me the other day. I got my 6th thing. I'm gonna speak to McDonald's. You're gonna be a Big Mac. Keep it up. Keep it up. You want to show off? I'll do some showing off. Yeah.
Our friend, our biggest fan.
This episode brought to you by dogs. Aren't they wonderful?
They are.
Now I can't remember what the hell I was talking about.
The extra nugget. Do you have like a special way of ordering that you think you're charming the person that they throw in that extra nugget?
No, oh, that's what you're talking. And the other day I got my 6 McNuggets and boom. Hey, I will break your stupid dog face.
Hey, come on.
We'll edit that out.
Okay.
No, and there was an extra one, and I got a nice feeling. I say that's nice.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how it happens so often. It hadn't happened in years. I feel like it used to always happen.
Well, I mean, are you being like a real gentleman over the speaker? I mean, are you you throwing out some jokes? Or here's the other possibility: were there two particularly smaller than usual? Maybe you
No,
got it. Maybe you got a pity nugget.
no,
Like
no.
maybe one was kind of scrawny,
I've had
sort of a
many pity.
runt of the litter.
I've had plenty of pity things thrown at me over the years, but not the McNuggets. I'm all mobile ordering now. I have the app.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you're
So yeah,
modern. You're modern.
I'm modern. So I don't even get to sweet talk whoever's working there and get my extra nugget.
Do you go through the drive-through when you do that, or
No,
you just walk in and it's sitting on a shelf someplace?
walk in, order
The
number
app.
1638. Bland.
Okay.
I walk right by all the suckers standing there in line. Thank you.
Uh-huh. It's always ready by the time you get there.
Yeah, it's only a couple blocks away from my office. I've only been once in the last month or two. Trying to stay away from it, but yeah, I'll time it right. I'll leave my office, put in my order, walk down the block. There it is. Thank you. Bada bing, bada
Okay.
bing.
All right.
Taco
I-
Bell is dangerous too, though.
I'm not going to use an app for fast food. I draw the line. I draw the line in some things. I'm never going to use DoorDash
Mhm.
for fast food. It just seems like $25 to get a hamburger seems a bit extravagant.
Mhm.
But
Well, the mobile app is just regular. Just regular prices.
uh-huh. Yeah, no, if you're picking it up, I get it. I mean, the pandemic, you had to do certain things, and I was ordering Jersey Mike's and all
Mhm.
sorts of things.
Sure.
I want to offer my condolences to you
There we
on the New York Yankees. I mean, it was only last week. I was congratulating you,
Yeah.
and this week it's dark days. Any
Another
comments?
long, dark autumn is upon us.
Any comments?
Well, I just hate the Astros so much.
Mhm.
And I hated them before their cheating thing. To be honest, their cheating thing doesn't really bother me that much any more than just how it obviously should. I just hate them so much, but I'm so mad at the Yankees. Altuve didn't even show up, totally wasted that opportunity. Didn't even put up a fight. They look like Bugs Bunny in that cartoon where he's just swinging whiff, 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 whiff. They just went up, took their 3 cuts, and sat down. So it's one. The Astros are a better team. They should have won, but the Yankees put up no fight and looked pathetic.
Yeah, losing it on your home field is just the
home field,
the
sweet.
cherry on top, right?
Didn't even look good doing it. Just abysmal. And then we got to hear this stupid crap about the morning before the 4th game. They showed the old tape of the Red Sox coming back to beat them.
Yeah, I heard that.
It's like,
that's dumb. Yeah.
That's obnoxious. But then we got to hear Jeter. Now Jeter decides to pipe up. Do you see this? He didn't like that.
So put him in a bad mood.
He didn't like that. He said it made him sick to think that they did that. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe if El Capitano had shown up in the locker room before the game, they could have put that stupid videotape away.
Yeah.
Maybe if he showed up and said a few words and had a little inspiration going, maybe they wouldn't need to show old horror films of their worst moment in team history. But now, after it's all said and done, El Capitano expresses his disappointment. Just like when he shut up while A-Rod was getting buried for a year.
I thought I read something that he talked about the Yankees in the past tense after the game or something.
Oh, they're all doing it. Oh, these aren't the Yankees. Oh, these aren't the, shut up. They are the Yankees. Now, they need to change, but nothing's worse than the old guys coming in. Oh, this in our day, we blah, 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 blah. Shut up.
Yeah. I heard,
what
did Mariano or Rivera say? He said something.
Yeah, now he's throwing Aaron Boone on the bus.
Oh
So
yeah.
now I got to be upset at Mo. What? How's this? Can you guys just go away and shut up? I want to love you. I
Yeah.
love you, but they just want to stick their heads in the room and say something stupid and then piss us off. So now we can't even enjoy that dynasty anymore because these idiots are showing up. Oh, we were a dynasty because we were real Yankees. Shut up.
Do we know for sure that it was a videotape that was shown? Where'd they get the VCR?
I'm sure it wasn't a videotape.
What was it?
No, they played the old radio of when
DVD?
they'd have the old wooden bats making the sound. Oh, single.
Uh-huh.
That's 3 hits. Like, no, whatever they did, they showed the old YouTube clips. I mean, whose brilliant idea was that? But
And
it doesn't matter.
who follows baseball would not know that? Like,
Yeah,
would they think it was like ancient history that people wouldn't remember what happened?
yeah. I mean, I know. Not every player sits around knowing the history of every game of baseball, but yeah, were they? Who's sitting in that locker room? Go, wait, what happened? There's a team in Boston too.
Mhm.
They did what?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the genius. They need to clean house. They got to get rid of Aaron Boone. And I don't hate Aaron Boone. They got to get rid of Cashman. Enough's enough. They're not gonna.
Mhm.
Probably gonna lose Judge. The one reason to keep us happy. Probably lose him.
You think?
And then Jeter will step in. That's disappointing. Yeah.
Well, maybe
after the fact.
Jeter will hire him for the Marlins.
He can't anymore. He's gone.
He's not connected with the Marlins anymore?
Oh, remember he stepped down a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I missed that.
I don't know if he has any connection. Maybe he's orchestrating this purpose so now he can breeze in and be the GM or something.
Uh-huh.
And express his disappointment
Okay.
in November next year. He's like he's the Susan Collins of Yankees, just always mildly expressing his disappointment. Once it doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
Great. If Jeter hears this and hates me, I'm not going to be able to live with myself.
I would think that the Yankees would lock him up for sure. I mean, they haven't had a player this dynamic in a while, and if they lose him, I mean, they can't. Here's the Yankee fans.
Judge, nobody wants to say. Number one, he is 30, and 2, it was a surprise he played all year without getting hurt. So I love Aaron Judge. I say back up the money truck, but on May 11th, when Aaron Judge has a quad pull or whatever and has to sit out for 3 years, am I going to be shocked? No. I thought you were saying they should bring back Jeter. Like, now that he's
no, that's not happening. I don't see.
Now's the time to bring back the prodigal son, the Dauphin, the hero, and let him solve it all. Let him be the hero.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening.
I guess that's not going to happen. I don't know. He's just going to wander by in late October. Disappointing. Yeah. You guys know that when I played, we won World Series. Real Yankees. Why not just sit around and talk about DiMaggio? Yeah. But it's over. Another empty October. That's all.
Speaking of disappointing.
Uh-oh.
Lemon chicken.
Oh.
Is
that a picture of yours? Why do I even ask? I don't know.
Now, the picture that's on the YouTube is what I was dreaming of. I assumed it would be something like
those are your dreams, Mike. Then
I thought it would be along the lines of sesame chicken with a lemon glaze, as seen in this photo. That's what I thought it would be. But I think I may have stumbled upon a dish where one of my local joints, China Moon, just is unprepared for it. Remember we were talking about how, a lot of Chinese restaurants they serve only probably less than half of what they have on the menu.
Well, yeah, it's like they say about bartenders. They know a million drinks, but they serve like 4.
Yeah. No, I can affirm that one.
Yeah.
But I think I hit a dish that my local place, the China Moon, was not prepared for. I caught them flat-footed.
China Moon, you are on blast.
And even from when I was ordering, I got a hint that I may have stumbled on something here, because when I ordered, the person on the phone assumed I was ordering chicken wings.
Hmm.
And I had
A
to
lot of
say, no,
assumptions.
I want to, and in the menu, this is in one of the specialties section.
Oh, really?
Chef specialties, lemon chicken. There it is.
Hmm.
And you know what I got?
Uh-oh.
I got chicken fingers
Oh boy.
over a bed of
Mm-mm.
steamed broccoli.
That's
No
all right.
complaints about that.
Hmm.
I like steamed broccoli. But chicken fingers? And I noticed on my menu, this place does not have chicken nuggets, but you know what they do have? Chicken
Chicken tenders?
fingers. Yeah.
Chicken fingers?
So I got chicken fingers over a bed of steamed broccoli. The lemon sauce, which was nice, it was in a separate cup.
Mhm.
It was not as, I thought it was going to be more like a glaze, heavy,
Mhm.
but it was light, and it
Yeah.
was nice. It was, it was something different. I've never dipped chicken fingers into a lemon sauce like
Mhm.
this, so it was different. But come on, and I paid, I think it was like $15
Mhm.
for chicken fingers, broccoli, and sauce.
I think you got played.
Yeah, I got played. It was
China,
okay. I
China
have nothing.
wins.
I have nothing against any of those things. The chicken fingers were nice. The broccoli was nice.
Mhm.
But is this what lemon chicken is? The chef's specialty?
Yeah.
I call bullshit.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah,
Mike Lesk is calling bullshit.
yeah. I caught this place flat-footed.
Oh, China Moon.
China Moon.
We will still be looking for that endorsement, sponsorship, China Moon, but you are under review.
Yeah, I'm going back to Campo.
Well, I cannot say the same. Mine was fantastic.
Okay.
Did you see the picture I sent?
I saw your picture, and it's totally different mine. Wait until you
Oh.
see my dish.
Well, it's almost cheating in that the chicken itself, they're like planks from Long John Silver's.
Hmm.
I mean, you saw beautifully fried, juicy white meat chicken. The chicken was fantastic.
Hmm.
And then the lemon sauce, I was a little nervous because I'm like, I don't do great with sauces. I don't love lemons. It's like, okay, they're fine, I guess. Nobody seeks out lemon, right? Like, what's the most lemon thing you like to eat?
Well, that's it. I mean, my sauce was not overwhelmingly sour.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like a hint. It's a hint of lemon. Yeah, nobody wants a sour
Yeah.
lemon experience.
Yeah.
So it's just a hint of lemon.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't too much because when I looked at it, it looked like it looked like egg drop soup.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, that's, yeah.
Remember
Mine
that
kind of looked
debacle.
like that. Yeah.
So I was like, oh boy. But I tried it. I didn't mind the sauce. It was all right. So I dug in. I got the fried rice instead of white rice. I think we talked about it last time and we decided white rice, but I'm a rebel. I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do in this thing called life.
Uh-huh.
And it was fantastic. It was
Yeah.
definitely the best thing I can think of we've had in months.
Wow. Okay.
And again, it's almost like the McNuggets is, and that they were basically just chicken planks as if they're from Long John Silver's. With, I guess, the quote unquote Chinese part is the lemon sauce.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, it was fantastic.
Okay.
And I have to say this, and I'm gonna get their name. I didn't catch who I ordered it from, but the pork fried rice, is some of the best pork fried rice I've had in memory, in that it was kind of smoky. There was a smokiness to it. Here we
Okay.
go. Yenching Restaurant. It's asking me, how was Yenching Restaurant?
Uh-huh.
5 stars, Yenching.
That's in DC?
No, it's in Richmond.
Oh, Richmond.
And so now I thought of this as I was ordering it. Do we hold on? How was Jeffrey's service? Fantastic, thank you, Jeffrey. Does it is it? Would you assume it's better if it has the Chinese writing alongside everything? Like every word that's in English, they have the Chinese equivalent. I assume. I mean, obviously, I don't know
Okay.
what I'm reading, but does that seem more legit to you?
Yeah, I mean, I saw your picture and it looks, I saw other pictures of lemon chicken that look like that.
Mhm.
So you were, I think, closer to what I should have gotten than what I got.
Right. But if
Um,
you had two, you're looking at two menus you'd never seen before. One was just, excuse me, in English.
mhm.
I was going to say normal, but that's not right. That's not fair. English. Uh, and then the other has it in English, but also in Chinese. Which one would you pick and why?
I see what you're saying. You're saying, but the menus from the same place or a different two different
If
places.
all things are equal, if you don't know any better, you just had looking at two menus, one's in English and one's in English and Chinese.
Okay. Yeah, I think for the people who, we get this word and it's so ambiguous now. Authentic. What's authentic?
Mhm.
So I think if you're looking for more authentic Chinese food, you'd go with the one with the Chinese with the English.
Yeah. Now that's assuming. I mean, for all I know, the quote unquote Chinese they're putting on there is stuff like these nuts. You suck, whitey.
Okay.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah.
But I'm simple enough that I'm like, oh wow, that seems impressive. The
Hmm.
Chinese, this must be real or
Uh-huh.
whatever. And I get, which is funny because I'm such a picky, non-fancy eater. You'd think I would gravitate towards the other one,
Hmm.
but I was very impressed with this place. I noticed it when I was ordering. I was like, wow, they have all the Chinese symbol. And then when it showed up, it was fantastic. But
Okay.
again, fantastic, but not super Chinesey. In that, in the end, it was basically chicken planks for Long John Silver's and a not too and a not too
Uh-huh.
lemony lemon sauce. That was
Okay.
neither lemony or nor saucy.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and and the great pork fried rice probably helped. But easily the best thing that I've had for this in months.
I'm glad you found a new place and that you had a great experience with this because when I selected lemon chicken, my expectations weren't very high. The name
Mhm.
itself doesn't lend itself to what is this?
Yeah.
And as I said, I saw different images. It was a broader range of images for this than most dishes. And so I had no idea what I was going to get.
Mhm.
And so to my surprise, I got chicken fingers
Mm.
with lemon sauce.
Jeez.
Uh,
I wonder if it
I'm
was now was it lemon sauce like literally like that served with chicken tenders, or did it actually seem like it was a legit
no,
lemon
it looked like
fancier
you
dish?
described it. It looked like egg drop soup without the egg in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
the same consistency,
Yeah.
color,
So it
except
did seem at least like it was made for actual dishes, not just kids dipping their
yeah,
chicken fingers, right?
yeah, true.
Okay.
That was the sauce is what distinguished this as lemon chicken.
Mhm.
But seriously, I mean, I have a feeling the chicken fingers just went into the fryer.
I,
They split them
I was
up.
very pleased.
You'll see my photo evidence. You can see literally they chopped the fingers in half. They did chop the literal the chicken fingers, so they didn't just lay chicken fingers across the top of the dish.
Good for them.
Yeah, so they made a slight attempt to sort of cover what was happening, but
Yeah.
to no avail.
I didn't get any steamed broccoli either, which
Oh, okay.
now I did have a funny steamed broccoli incident last night. I got into my friend's house here in Richmond. I won't say who it is,
Huh.
because it's maybe an embarrassing story. And walking by the fridge, and all of a sudden, everybody's like, "What's this? What the hell? What's that smell?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Ugh, I hope it's not me. I just got off the damn train for two." Turns out it was broccoli in the fridge in a sealed Tupperware
Oh,
container.
wow. Had gone
You could
bad?
smell it a couple feet away from the out of the fridge.
Wow.
And then my friend gets it, and I guess just to make sure, opens it to for us to check, make sure that's it. And like,
Stunk up the house.
yeah, and it's
Wow.
like I thought it was I don't know how broccoli in the cold refrigerator sealed works up such a funk. And it couldn't have been too long, because who keeps broccoli laying,
Well, so, you know,
broccoli lying
sometimes,
around the fridge for too long?
well, sometimes it gets shoved to the back. I've had that experience. And actually, I
Yeah,
had a
this wasn't
recent
even the
experience.
back. This was like ready to go at the front.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's weird then.
Yeah.
I had an experience with a couple chicken cutlets,
Mhm.
which I cooked. I threw them on the barbecue. I didn't eat two of them. You know, you get three in the pack. So we had one for dinner, and then, but I cooked the other two, and I put them in a sealed plastic container. I didn't get to them for a while though, but I
Mhm.
figured, well, they're cooked. You know, it's not raw chicken sitting around. And I figured the fact that they were cooked, they would last longer, right? In a
Right.
sealed container. But no, when I finally got around to, uh, I wanted to reheat them. Yeah, there was a little bit of like mold
Mhm.
starting out, and boy, the smell was was knocking me out. You know, it was strong. So I had to dispatch them
Mhm.
quickly to the
Are you about to tell us how much you paid for them?
no, no, it's, you know, we know how much three chicken breasts go for.
Mhm.
Very expensive these days. But I brought them directly to the garbage can. And the next time I went into the garage to throw some trash out, I could smell it.
Mhm.
So these two cutlets were stinking up the garage through a garbage bag and a thick, heavy duty garbage can.
Yikes.
Plastic, yeah.
Huh.
So I know all about food that can stink up the joint.
I mean, at least rotting meat, you'd be a little less surprised. You'd be like,
Mhm,
well, it was an animal. And when
mhm,
the broccoli, that's surprising.
yeah. Well, I learned my lesson that
Don't buy chicken?
even cooked meat doesn't, you know, it's got a shelf life, and you
Yeah.
gotta eat it again soon.
Oh, good lesson.
Yeah. So what are you gonna give this dish? You seem to, is this gonna be your number two after egg foo young?
Yeah, well, yeah, I can't think of anything that was better. Uh, let's see if I keep my scores around. Okay. My previous high, sweet and sour chicken, which is kind of the same dish.
Hmm.
8.1. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna put it above that. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8.3.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, very pleasing. Uh, I'm gonna dock it a little bit because it is kind of this. It's kind of flat and sweet and sour chicken. You know, it wasn't too ambitious or anything, but it was great. So
I'm gonna give mine 6.
8.3.
I'm gonna give it a 6. Um, Maybe I should go lower because of what I think was deceptive about it, but
Boy,
you
that's
know,
pretty high based on your
yeah, no,
shellac.
I've been harsh because of the deception, but frankly, chicken fingers weren't bad.
Yeah,
I'm almost tempted to try the chicken fingers normally
it sounds like you did.
because
I'd be tempted to reorder lemon chicken and see what shows up.
uh,
Like maybe it was just not the normal chef, and he freaked out. He didn't know where the chicken fillet was, and he just, gave you
Well,
whatever.
I think it would be cheaper for me just to order the chicken fingers to verify that I got the same thing. You hear me? And
Yeah.
I still have some in a lemon sauce. So I can
Oh
get
yeah,
the,
but you're talking about to eat it. I'm talking about just to find out if it was a mistake on their part, or they genuinely don't know what lemon chicken is,
uh-huh.
or it's just a weird fluke that
And I'm looking
obviously
at the
just ordering the chicken tenders is going to be.
and I'm looking at the chicken fingers price here. And this is an old menu. I think it's a little more now. But $6.25 for 4 chicken fingers, which is about what I got in the lemon chicken, which went for $15.
Well, how big were their fingers?
They were chopped up, like I said. They didn't just lay chicken
Oh,
fingers
right,
across.
right.
They split them in half to give the illusion that they were chicken strips, like what you got.
Well, you use the words deception, illusion. Sounds like you're trying to work up a nice little conspiracy here.
I'm gonna, yeah. Now that you're presenting it in that light, I have to dock it another point. So I'll bring it down to 5.
Oh, sorry, China Moon.
Yeah. I think
I
this is
thought-
the first dish I caught. One of my local places, flat-footed. They were not prepared for a customer to actually order this item from the menu. And probably
should-
haven't received an order for lemon chicken in a long time.
I should have known that you didn't like it based on how much you were itching to get into it. Talking about it this week.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a disappointing experience.
Well, maybe you can turn things around with Halloween coming up.
Halloween. Yeah, I was going to ask you. I
What
mean,
does Mike Les have planned for his Halloween?
well, I have to see the doc. I have a doctor's appointment, so I've got that going for me.
Okay.
But it is a Monday this year, as opposed to last year. It was a Sunday, which is kind of a nightmare. I live in a neighborhood with lots of kids.
You remember what day Halloween was last year?
Well, it was an all-day experience. That's why I remember.
Oh.
And here's the thing, in Bayonne, I was never in my apartment, during the day. Usually I got home too late, and I never even really had to buy candy because, and I'm in an apartment building, and a lot of times kids don't want to even bother with apartment buildings, but now I'm down here in Howell, and lots of kids around, and last year, full day of trick-or-treating, and I'm running to the door every 15 minutes. So yeah, I remember last Halloween.
Ah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was your Vietnam.
Yeah, it was my Vietnam.
I mean, the last last time I had a quote unquote hand out candy was, I don't know, before pandemic, obviously 2 or 3 years ago. And our buddy Waddy asked me, because they were taking their kids to go some neighborhood thing. He said, "Hey, do you mind coming over, hanging out on the porch for a couple of hours, throwing candy when kids show up?" Sure, of course. Because I'm thinking I'm gonna have 2 hours of knocking back at a couple of pops and making fun of little kids coming up. I'm like, oh, that's right on my street. But nothing happened for like an hour and a half. I didn't see a single kid. Then all of a sudden, like 50 showed up.
Wow.
At the exact same time. So I think now they either come together, then travel as a pack.
Wow.
Like that, or every other situation I've seen is neighborhoods have designated blocks or areas everybody goes to, and they just walk around and get candy from these people. I don't know if they necessarily go door to door anymore.
In my neighborhood, they were doing that. I mean, it's a typical suburban neighborhood.
You have to make me look bad in front of everybody.
No, but no, there's different
neighborhoods. That impassioned speech about knocking door to door and you shoot me down.
It depends on the neighborhood. I mean, a friend of mine lives in like a sort of development, townhouses, right? So think about this: townhouses are attached, so you're hitting multiple doors. You're not even, there's no foot traffic. I mean, where I am, there's space between the houses, so you're getting some exercise because you're going to do a fair amount of walking.
That's no good.
But you hit up you know, one of these retirement communities
Oh,
with townhouses, you know, doors are like 15 feet apart.
nothing but fun size Snickers at the old folks home, I bet.
But with that, my friend was telling me that people actually they bring their kids to that neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
You know, they don't live in that neighborhood, but you know, they're carted there because they get more bang for their buck
Yeah.
with all the doors and the lack of walking. You
Yeah.
know, because I mean, my experience was with most of the kids were with their parents. So the
Mhm.
parents are on the sidewalk while they run up to the house,
Yeah.
which is sad because when I was young, I mean, we were just out and about. Our parents had no idea where we were. And we were, you know, running up and down like nuts. But now it's supervised, which says something about our where we are now, that everything has to be supervised.
Oh yeah.
But that was my experience last year was parents with their kids and the kids would run up and the parents would wait.
Yeah.
So it was
What does
busy.
Mike List give to kids who show up at his door
Well, you have
on
to give
Halloween?
you have to give what you inevitably will end up having extra because you don't want to be caught short. I've never been caught short.
So only give what you would want yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
agree
know,
with that.
that's so, you know, well, you get these combo bags now, right?
Mhm.
So it's got a Reese, it's got a Twix, um,
Reese.
a Reese's piece,
Oh, Reese
Well, you get one, the singles.
one.
You're not getting a double pack like you normally do. So I said singular. So is it still Reese's?
I think so.
It's a Reese's cup. Yes, one cup.
One cup.
Yeah. So yeah, they have these combo bags. They mix it up. Almond Joy are good.
Yeah.
Mounds, you know, the good stuff. Snickers, Milky Way.
You're not passing out apples trying to give these kids a lesson.
No, you know, you knew that experience as a kid, right? When you got an apple.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's why I was always like, oh, they'll put razor blades on apples. I'm
Yeah.
like, great. What kid runs home and rushes home and digs into the bag and grabs an apple?
Grabs the apple first. Yeah.
Yeah, let me fight through all these candy bars to get to this apple that some old lady gave me.
Uh-huh.
No, by the time anybody thinks the apple, it's all rotted away anyway. And the razor blade is just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what these people are. Hide it in. If you're gonna try to hurt a kid, hide it in a candy bar or something.
Uh-huh.
Nobody's do apples.
Uh-huh.
Has anybody ever died from that?
Well, that's a good question. Is it just an urban myth?
It's got to be.
The apple
kid.
with the razor blades.
I mean, you want to explain to other people, your kid is so stupid. He hurt himself on a razor blade, biting into an apple on Halloween. You want to be that parent?
Uh-huh.
Actually, I'd like it. Go over here. Let me tell you about my stupid kid.
What's the worst candy after the apple?
Anything with coconut.
Really? Okay.
Might as well be.
Have we had
it might
this
as well be a
discussion
vegetable.
before?
Don't be giving me coconut on Halloween. It might
So
as well
no
be a vegetable.
mound, no mounds or almond joy for you?
No,
Wow.
coconut. That's not candy.
You're missing out. You're missing out, man.
But I want chocolate. I want peanut butter. Any mix of the two.
Mary Jane.
However you want.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane. I mean, what's that from the 40s?
Yeah, but it's still out there.
Give that to soldiers in the war. I mean, like, I mean, a Reese's peanut butter.
Hardtack.
Hardtack, corn pone. No wonder you're upset about your food. You start thinking about your days back in the war. Coconut does not feel like a Halloween. It feels like
Smarties.
I don't like any of that shit either. Don't give me sweet tarts. Don't give me any gummy bears. None of that nonsense.
Okay.
Skittles are garbage. Chocolate and peanuts, any variation thereof.
Did they still have those straw things with the powder in it?
Oh God!
Remember those things? What do you call those?
Pixie sticks.
Pixie sticks. That's it. Yeah.
And I never got into those.
No.
I don't think I never really had a sweet tooth until like in the last year or two. Thanks COVID, I picked up a sweet tooth on top of everything else. So I never really loved any candy as a kid. other than, just a regular chocolate or peanut situation.
Uh-huh.
Nerds, whatever those were, I didn't care about those. Skittles,
Wax lips.
wax lips. At least they're funny. Like at least the fake cigarettes you'd roll up your sleeve. At least they're funny.
We had a store in Howell when we first moved down here, the late 60s, early 70s. And it was, they sold sneakers. That's where we would go to get our sneakers. But there was all this other crap in the other aisles, and they had this candy counter, and they had, I don't even know what you'd call it. It was like plastic tubes with liquid in them. They were wax tubes, and there'd be different color liquid in the tubes, and you bit the top of the thing off, and you drank down this flavored liquid that was in this wax container. Have you ever heard or seen anything like that in your life?
No,
Yeah.
but I wasn't in the war either, so I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to you boys over there,
but this, yeah, I think this thing was
I have
from
no recollection of
this-
anything
this-
wax involved. with my
yeah,
kid.
this thing must have been from the 20s or 30s. I mean, there was a layer of dust on everything in this store.
mean-
So this stuff was just laying around for decades, it seemed.
Says, were you in A Tree Grows in Brooklyn? Like, where are you shopping?
Well, maybe that's where they came from. They brought all their stuff down to Howell. It was a new happening part of New Jersey. All these developments going up, and they brought all their stuff and the dust from the 1920s and 30s. And they had the old toys too, like made out of tin, and you could see the rivets, and yeah, it was a real curiosity. I wish the place lasted longer. I could have documented what the hell was in the store, but I could have made a nice article for Weird New Jersey. Sid's Sneakers.
Sid's Sneakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, it's a sneaker store.
Yeah.
So serving dusty wax candy. I don't remember anyway. My number one, we had a country store 5 houses down from where I grew up. And you go and they had penny candy, which I guess was a penny a piece or a penny for a bag. And my number one candy bar was called a Zero.
Uh-huh.
You remember that?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
I don't know if I haven't seen one in 100 years. I think it was white chocolate, which is weird because I don't like white chocolate. Zero, that was the name of the candy bar. I haven't seen it since like 1982.
Uh-huh.
That was my go-to at Sunnyside Grocery.
Wow.
Kino, Virginia.
Yeah, a lot of candy bars disappear. I mean, I remember liking a Rally bar. I don't know if they're still around. Reggie Jackson had his own candy bar, but
Remember that one?
I don't think it's around
I
anymore.
don't think that's right.
You ever hear that great story about they had like a promotional thing?
Oh, they all threw them in the Yankee Stadium?
Somebody had the bright idea to give a Reggie Jackson bar to everybody who entered the stadium. Yeah, okay. Nobody thought it through, like, well, maybe these would be projectiles if the game didn't go as well as we hoped. And sure enough, that's what happened.
I would not have thrown my Reggie bar. I would have eaten it.
You would have eaten it. Okay.
I would have said, I would have looked around. Anybody who wants to throw their Reggie bar, just give it to me.
Yeah.
Zero. That's my thing.
I saw you throwing your hat into the unboxing ring.
Unboxing.
Yeah, I saw you unboxing an album.
When I get my ass kicked at what? Oh yeah, my Kinks box set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the reissue, the 50th anniversary ish of Muswell Hillbillies and Everyone's in Show Business, and it showed up the other day, and I was so happy. So yeah, I tried to film myself opening it, and it went about as well as you could expect. So took me a couple tries, some swearing.
It's a whole thing on YouTube, the unboxing phenomenon.
Yeah, have you ever sat through one of those?
I've seen them. I goofed on it a while back. I did my own little unboxing thing.
Yeah.
But it's goofy. But then you look at, they've got like 1 million subscribers or something just to watch.
Take like 26 minutes to open a.
And they got these kids, right? The young kids who are
Mhm.
like YouTube phenomenons, and all they do is open up toys.
Oh, that's all. I know that whole world. That's a whole crazy
Yeah,
industry. Every kid I know, or everybody I know who has little kids, that's all they watch. Hours of YouTube of other people opening other toys.
yeah.
Isn't this great?
Some
But it's
kids
brilliant because
making,
then you go screaming to mom and dad, you want this toy, and you buy
right.
it. That's brilliant.
Yeah. And kids are this one kid, I saw a little profile on him. He's making thousands of dollars,
Mhm.
and he's like 10. I mean, it's crazy. Um, but yeah, I
No,
enjoyed your unboxing.
thank you.
The record. I mean, I'm not even that familiar with everybody's in show business.
Really?
Muswell Hillbillies, I love. I have that.
Yeah.
I never had.
I,
I have a bunch of Kinks records, mostly the early ones. Um, where did everybody's in show business come out after
right after
Muswell?
Muswell
Oh,
Hillbillies.
okay, all right.
It's fantastic. They could go together in that they're that link between earlier Kinks and right before he was kind of getting into the whole showbiz thing, like
Hmm.
Ray dancing around. Uh, and there's also this confluence of uh, a brass section, a brass band that's very, and I'm no expert, you know more than me, very New Orleansy. They got a couple of
Oh,
tubas,
really? Okay, so
um,
he was
and
going
that
for a New Orleans sound.
yeah, and it kind of carries throughout both of those albums.
Any hits on that record?
What's that?
Any hits on that?
Well, Celluloid Heroes is on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And sitting in my hotel, that's another great one. It's a just super solid 10-song album. Fantastic. It matches perfectly with Muswell Hillbillies. So I was very, very excited to finally get it. I'd ordered it so long ago. I kind of forgotten where I even got it from, how to track it, and then it finally showed up. Just like I got the Revolver box set coming, hopefully within the next couple days.
Hmm.
Me do a little unboxing for that one. That I'm super pumped about. You've already said you don't care and are not impressed and have nothing to learn. So
Well,
that's
I looked at the track listing and what's on it, and like a lot of these box sets, and it kills it for me
Mhm,
when you get 4 or 5 variations on the same song in a row.
mhm.
I mean, just as a listening experience, it's a bit tedious. Um,
Did you hear the Yellow Submarine one's been going around?
no.
Look it up. Well, it turns out, and here I am. I've read all the books. I've been a Beatles fanatic for 100 years. You think you know everything. It turns out Yellow Submarine, which I thought and I think most people thought was some song that Paul came up with, some kid song he kind of tossed off the Ringo, right? Like, isn't that what you kind of always thought about Yellow Submarine? Like,
No, I mean, it's not a favorite of mine at all, but I thought it was a Ringo song.
yeah, I always thought it was like just a goofy, fun song they came up with for Ringo.
Mm,
To be honest, I was always kind of annoyed. It took away from the, I don't want to say seriousness of the record, but it's like
mhm.
all of a sudden in the middle of this amazing album, they had this goofy kid song. So I don't want to say I resented it, but I was always like, oh, this is weird. But it turns out it was a John Lennon song, and they have a recording of an early demo, and it's a totally different song. It's just very elegiac. It's very sad.
Really?
He's
Okay.
thinking about where he was born, that nobody cared. You'll listen to it,
All
and you're
right.
like,
Yeah.
wow, how did they go from that to a kid's song that became a cartoon?
Yeah.
Because just the snippet you have of him doing a demo, it's brilliant.
Okay. That sounds interesting. At least you're going on a little musical journey there, where yeah,
Yeah.
every version I guess is different, and but in most cases when I've gotten box sets, and I have particular favorites. I bought the Blood on the Tracks
Yeah.
box set,
How
and
was that?
it's similar where you're getting the same song, maybe 4 or 5, sometimes 5 different versions with
Yeah.
only modest changes between the
Yeah.
versions.
I'm with you in that I don't need to hear 4 different versions of Anya Birkin sing with slightly different guitar here or there.
Yeah,
Uh, I don't need to hear that.
yeah.
But I do get excited about the thought of following along with the progression from the first take to the final product, and which I don't know how much of that you'll actually get on this box set. From what I've been reading, there is a lot of that, and everybody's excited about.
Mhm.
I don't know if that'll be disappointing, but because yeah, you hear this Yellow Submarine now, this demo, and you're like, how did it get anywhere near this goofy cartoon song it ended up at?
Yeah.
Now the problem is I don't know if there's anything between the two that we get to hear, but I'm excited. And again, just like with the Kinks one, uh I'm also excited. There's something about feeling like I'm sharing this moment with other people,
Mhm.
which is hard to do. You can't really do it with TV anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to the movies. I guess we're sharing stuff on social media, but if it comes from me, nobody gives a shit. And so I do get a jolt of like, can you believe we're all sharing this together
Mhm.
around the world? That does make me happy. It made me happy the other night with the Kinks
Mhm.
one, and it'll make me happy when I get the Revolve one, even though it's ridiculous. Of course, but it's a nice feeling.
I mean, I suspect you're a bigger Kinks fan than me, bigger Kinks fan than me. I mean, you posted a thing a few weeks ago, which I never even heard of before,
Mhm.
about the song "Come Dancing."
Yeah,
The background to that song. I mean, it was a big hit,
yeah,
but there's a sort of darker background to that song.
yeah. Well, I didn't even know. I mean, I've always loved the song too, and I've been a huge Kinks fan, but it wasn't until like 15 years ago I heard the story about. He wrote it's about one of his oldest sisters, his six older sisters. On his 13th birthday, she got him his first guitar, then went off to go dancing for the night and dropped dead, the heart attack or something.
Yeah,
So I'm like, well, how did we not know this story? Like,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Uh, and since then, I've heard him reference it. But you surprised me the other week when you mentioned the low budget
Yeah.
was one of your favorites. I went
That
back and I
was
was like, that's not a great.
no, I know it's there. It's not peak Kinks, but
Yeah.
it was me getting into the Kinks. What year did that come out?
Well, that's
77?
what I was going to say at the time because it came out in like '79. You would have been in high school
Yeah, I was 18.
when it's
Yeah,
actually happening at that time.
yeah,
It's different.
yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. It was their current record. I was getting into them.
Mhm.
Um, I had gotten, I guess maybe that Celluloid Heroes Greatest Hits album.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess that came out probably shortly after the album you just got.
Yeah.
What is it? Everybody, I can't even remember the title.
Everybody's in showbiz.
Everybody's in show business. So, I mean, I really loved that. I loved that particular song. I loved 20th Century Man from Muswell Hillbillies.
Yeah.
So I was getting into that, and then Low Budget came out, and then they were touring, and I saw them at Asbury Park Convention Hall. I saw them at a friend of mine was
Oh,
at Glassboro College in New Jersey, and they were
how were
just
those shows?
they were fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, pure showmen.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what I've seen videos, yeah.
I can't really even think of anybody, maybe Springsteen, some of the guys who were just masters of on-stage presence
Yep.
and just being a great showman than Ray Davies when
Yeah.
I saw him those couple times. A phenomenal show. Both times and good times. Yeah. But that record came out and I guess that was when all the rock bands were sort of doing their disco.
Mhm.
That song had Superman or
Yeah.
that was sort of their their semi disco song.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Somebody should put I mean do a compilation of all the rock bands. Of course, Rod Stewart had
The disco.
Do You
Kiss.
Think I'm Sexy? Um, Rolling Stones, Miss You.
Oh,
Even
God.
the Grateful Dead had Shakedown Street. A lot of these bands took a shot at disco
Yeah.
because it was such a phenomenon at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. There
And
should be an album of all those songs put together.
yeah, but the Kinks took a shot at it. That's an entertaining song. It's a good one.
Yeah.
And
It's
of course,
it's not as disco-y as a lot of lame attempts.
no, it's just got the, a subtle the beat, and most of them do. I mean, that's all it is. It's like they got a consistent beat.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going full on disco, but it's got the consistent beat that disco favored at the time.
Now,
Um,
did you notice who liked my tweet? My
yeah, I see
unboxing?
you've caught the eye of Dave Davies. So,
No big deal, Michael.
well, no big deal. When is he going to be on the show?
Oh, that would be something. If I got Dave Davies
Yeah,
on Food What?
yeah, that would be
That would
phenomenal.
be wow.
Yeah.
You just spun my brain
All
around.
right, something to shoot
That
for, right?
myself.
We all need our goals.
Jesus.
Yeah,
That would be something.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Ray Davies is the only songwriter I would put up there with Lennon McCartney.
Hmm.
Period.
Yeah, I know you're a Stones hater, so
Yeah.
this
Well,
was like a regular conversation. You, myself, and another one of our friends would have regularly. Stones versus the Beatles.
nope.
And you don't like any of their early stuff?
The Stones?
Yeah, because it's on the same
I
level.
like I mean I like most everything through. I mean I like their run from Beggar's Banquet through probably I like Guts Head Soup.
Hmm.
I guess like everybody else up to Some Girls, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of Stone songs I love, but
Hmm.
it's just
I feel you're sliding the real early stuff, which is right in the same to me as the Beatles, Kinks, those
no,
those early singles. Yeah.
not too much blues. Not that it's very unoriginal. Even I like Between the Buttons,
Hmm.
but even like great songs off that, I don't know. There's no real originality to any of it.
Have you ever heard? I mean, just to sort of cut to the chase, I
Mm.
would recommend the singles collection,
Oh yeah, yeah.
which is
Big one, the big one.
it's 3 CDs,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's got all those prime early singles,
yeah. No,
and it's not that's not bluesy.
there's plenty of Stone singles and plenty of Stone songs I like, but am I putting them up with Lennon McCartney or Ray Davies as songwriters? No, I am not.
Hmm.
That's all.
Okay.
They have no sense of melody like Ray Davies. They desperately tried to keep up with the Beatles, which was just pathetic. I believe Keith Richards is on record as saying that. Uh,
Okay.
and I don't want to, I'm not.
No, I know I'm banging my head against the wall trying to make a case, but I've
I
tried
mean,
yet again.
I like the Stones just fine, but they are a distant third behind the Beatles and the Kings.
Mm.
Distant. That's all.
Okay.
I wouldn't even call it hate. It's just like, all right, whatever. You're a good bar rock band, had some hits. I don't think anybody would say that musically they've done anything that changed the world. So
No, they've
that's
fallen
fine.
off since Some Girls. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not even getting into the whole they've toured for 9,000 years.
Yeah.
And I'm on record here many times bitching about their set list. Oh, good. Start me up again. Wow.
No, as somebody who's seen them a few times, yeah, I'm sort of done at this point. And I look at some of the clips from the recent tour, and it does look like they're just kind of phoning it in, and it's getting kind of embarrassing. I mean, I see Keith Richards step up to do some solo, and it's like barely a solo. He's just kind of like banging out a couple chords, and
Yeah.
we're all supposed to fall on the floor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. I don't really need to see the Rolling Stones at this point.
I'll tell you who I meant to say was the last week we were talking about the Springsteen of every state.
Yeah.
Totally forgot who I should have put up for my home state of Virginia. There was a band in the 80s out of Richmond. They were part ska, part punk, part rock. This was before hip hop or whatever. called the Good Guys.
Good guy.
And they were an interracial band.
Mhm.
There were three brothers, the Gore brothers, Jimmy, Harry, and Charles. And that's where you remember, you know, the Equal song "Baby Come Back,"
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
That a certain scrappy little combo you know and love used to cover. I got that from them.
Okay.
They were a great band in the mid '80s. It was one of these stories
The
you
good
hear
guys, say it again.
the Good Guys.
The good guys. Okay.
One of these you hear it all the time. The record label, the major labels were backing up the truck, but the main guy, you know, held out, tried to be, you know, get the greatest deal in the world or whatever, and it fell apart, it fell through, and then that was it for them.
Uh-huh.
They fantastic band.
So they
put
never
out
even
one
got
album.
they never got an album out.
They got one album out. I don't know who put it out.
Can you find it online?
Every once in a while, I'll go dig it up. Maybe only on YouTube. I
Yeah.
don't know. I haven't checked in a couple of months. It's called A System of Groove.
Okay.
The Good Guys.
right.
Fantastic band.
I'll
They
look
could
them
do
up.
anything.
Okay.
I mean, they were ska. They put out a single about James Watt.
Mhm.
So they could do anything.
Any updates where they are today?
No, I mean,
Yeah.
well, Harry Gore, the guitar player, amazing guitar player. He's still kicking around Richmond. Like maybe 10 years ago, a buddy of mine hired him to come play in his backyard for his birthday. You know, I think it was a couple $100. It was kind of sad. It was, on one hand, it was a thrill because I got to meet him and tell him how much I loved his band, but then it's like, gosh, this guy's just, you know, kind of singing for his supper in his backyard and lugging his own gear, and it was a little, yeah, but yeah, we all have a story like that.
Well, at least he's keeping the flame going. I mean,
Yeah, and
you know,
I heard,
he didn't just pack it up entirely.
yeah, and like I
He
heard
still likes to do it.
the older brother Jimmy, who was like the front man, the main guy of the band. I'd always heard he went off to New York and like wrote scores and stuff for movies. I don't know if that's true or where he even got that, but the Good Guys, that's who I should have brought up for Virginia. But I failed. So
And they were toured throughout the state. I mean, it wasn't just.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
they were yeah, they went everywhere.
Okay.
It was that age old story, backing up the money truck, major label, but then they blew it somehow. So.
Wow.
Write that down.
I finished Frankenstein.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. I agree with you. It's the worst movie adaptation ever.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they can put the name Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the most disparate in that there's no real connection. Yeah.
The only connection is that, yeah, there's a guy named Victor. Actually, it's not even Victor in the movie. They switched the names for some reason. Why? I have no idea. But I recently watched the Universal movie again. And I watched it, and it's Henry Frankenstein, which is, it's Henry is the name of his friend in the book, and the friend in the movie is called Victor. So they couldn't even like keep the names consistent with the book. The only thing that it has in common with the book is the idea of creating a human being.
Right.
That's it. That's it. That's where it ends.
Yeah.
You know, the book is so much better. I kind of agree. I was looking at some of the reviews on Goodreads, and people were complaining about how Victor does moan a lot throughout the book about the miseries of his life since creating the monster. And yeah, I kind of agree with that. He goes on at great length. It was kind of amusing to me, you know, his regrets. But it's interesting throughout. The ending is completely different than the movie. It's, in fact, kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I recommend the movie. I mean, not the book. I recommend the book to anybody.
Yeah, I finished In Cold Blood. I gotta say, I forget where I was last time we talked. I really liked it, but I do feel like the end it kind of petered out. Like maybe after the dramatic when they really reveal every detail or whatever.
Yeah, that's the scary part I was talking about.
Yeah, I feel like the last 50 or so pages, it was kind of just like I don't remember anything of any consequence or anything.
Well, I guess that's the build up to the execution, right?
Yeah, but even that, yeah, it just the last 50 or so pages just kind of petered on for me,
Hmm.
which is fine.
Hmm.
Because I really liked it otherwise and would recommend it. So then I tried to watch the movie, which I had watched before,
Yeah,
and I don't think I made it through the whole thing. It just kind of lost interest.
it's long. I think it's like 2.5 hours or something.
Maybe, and then it's like, how many times do we have to know? Yeah, okay, this is Harper Lee. Okay, yeah. Oh, is this Harper Lee? Okay, it's Harper Lee. Is this Harper Lee? Great, it's Harper Lee.
Oh,
How
which
many
movie are you talking about?
In Cold Blood?
Oh, I didn't
John
remember.
Harper Lee was in Frankenstein.
No, I didn't
That would be
remember.
something.
I didn't remember Harper Lee getting that much attention in the movie. But
Catherine Keener,
you're talking about Capote now.
Capote. Yeah.
I thought
Oh,
you
I'm
were
sorry. I'm
talking.
not talking about the one that came out.
All right, I thought you were talking about the movie In Cold Blood
No,
with
sorry.
our man,
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
the murderer was in the original In Cold Blood movie. Uh, Blake, I'm blanking out on his name.
Oh,
The little rascal.
Blake.
He killed his wife.
In a swimming pool or Robert Blake?
Robert Blake. Yes.
Robert Blake. Oh, this is scary looking. Did he die?
No, he's still out there.
Boy, he
With,
would be perfect for Perry.
you haven't seen that movie?
I haven't seen that one. Is that
Oh,
good? Should I
okay.
watch that?
Oh, yeah. Watch that.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the Capote one, which I think it won a bunch of awards. I think it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it was okay. It
Yeah,
was
it's like
okay.
it was all about, I mean, it's him, it's his personality
Mhm.
and her, and mm, didn't captivate me like the book did until the last section. But
Yeah.
now I'm reading. I'd never read Go Tell It on the Mountain before.
Yeah, that's a good one. I have that. I should read that. I'm reading To Kill a Mockingbird after you were chastising me.
Rightfully so, I should add.
I don't know. It's okay. I'm about 4 chapters in.
Oh my god.
It's okay. It's giving you all those little southern details.
Yeah.
I guess you lapped that stuff up.
Yeah.
They're talking about all these southern dishes I never heard of before
Yeah.
to bring it back into food.
You can hate it all you want. I have a feeling by the time you get done with it, you'll love it.
No, I love the movie, and that's
Yeah.
why I felt like it must have been a pretty good representation of the book. So I felt like I've been down the road, and now, of course, now reading the book, I'm picturing Gregory Peck as Atticus and the
Yeah,
kids that were in it. You have those images in your head, so
sorry,
it's already there.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I'm sure I know I read the book before I saw the movie, but I've read it a couple times since, and yeah, it's hard not to picture Gregory Peck once you've seen that. Yeah, that's tough. Just like if you read Jaws, it's tough without picturing that actual
Yeah,
shark.
yeah. No, if you're coming to a book after the movie, it's hard to just start fresh.
Well, you should be done with it by next week, so I want a full report.
It's not a page turner for me. I'm going like a chapter or two at a time.
Wow.
I think I was going faster through. Well, there's a lot of to me extraneous details.
Yeah.
Like in the first paragraph of the book, she's describing Jem's hands and the angles his hands are to his legs. And I almost panicked. I'm like, oh my God, is the whole book going to be like this? No, it's not. But it
Yeah.
was sort of a red flag went up, like, oh my God, is she just going to give us all these meaningless details that really don't propel the story?
You know
Um,
what book I think of when you say that? I don't remember that particular Mockingbird, but I'm not saying that. Did you ever read To Sir with Love?
no,
Speaking
I
of
haven't
movies.
read that.
It every other page, somebody walks in the room, a teacher or a kid or whatever, and yeah, they spend half a page describing what they wear, what
Yeah,
is there a ring on her finger,
yeah,
this and that, go on and on and on, and then you never see that person, hear from that person again.
right.
So I'm like, why did we spend half a page setting up every detail about this person, only
Hmm.
to never hear from them again?
Uh-huh.
Like at least in To Kill a Mockingbird, if it's like Jem or whatever, okay, well, describing him that in that detail maybe will help out throughout the story.
Hmm.
Whereas this was just, oh, it's awful. Oh,
Yeah, no. But I thought that's what I was in for with this book, but it calmed down.
yeah.
It was just that one little thing that I picked up on. I was like, oh, that's a weird detail to describe the character in the first paragraph of the book, you know?
Wouldn't it be great if after 60 years of every kid in the country having to read this book, and it's so universally beloved? I don't know if I've ever met anybody who shits on To Kill a Mockingbird. After hearing this, entire generations of Americans go, you know what? Shit, I think he's right. This book does suck.
Well, they don't shit on the book, they shit on the authors now. You know,
On Harper Lee?
yeah,
Because that awful
they
Ghost
had
Out of
that
Watchmen thing
follow-up
he put
book.
out.
Didn't they publish some book
Oh.
they put together? You read
Oh,
that?
oh, the second she died, all of
Uh-huh.
a sudden, her agents are like, "Oh my God, we found the lost manuscript." And I remember they had a press conference or whatever,
Right.
and one of them actually said, "And yeah, right away you can tell this is perfect for a movie."
Uh-huh.
Like, oh, really? Is it?
Yeah.
Like, ka-ching. So of course, I love To Kill a Mockingbird so much. I got it, uh, and it's an awful book. But then you find out it was what she had originally had sent in uh, to her to the publishing or whatever, and the book was garbage. But the editor became a hero because this editor said, "Yeah, this book sucks, but there's this part about when you were a kid that should be the story."
Hmm.
And so that she went back and then she writes the actual book. And what's remarkable is as you're reading Ghost at a Watchman, as your eyes are rolling out of your head, you're flipping the pages, you do come upon like two paragraphs, and it's as plain as day. You're like, oh, this is what this woman read, this editor read.
Hmm.
That's in that she pulled that out and it became To Kill a Mockingbird, which is astonishing. That if this editor hadn't seen this little bit and said, you know what, this should be it,
Uh-huh.
we'd never know about To Kill a Mockingbird. Don't
That's
get
in-
choked up, Mike. It's just a story about people
no,
you don't even know
that's
personally.
interesting. But weren't there all these charges of her being racist when the new thing came out?
Yeah, yeah. Like we find out Atticus has some. I can't even remember. Yeah, there was
Yeah,
some.
but it's
But it's
that's the
like,
new thing. They some journalist is going to make their chops now. I know the New Yorker. Some guy wrote an article about Flannery O'Connor.
but
And
it
now
wasn't
she.
even that as much as like it's obvious. I mean, it wasn't edited or it wasn't. You could just tell it was just they grabbed whatever they could to cash in because apparently she had fought it her whole life. Like, well, no, we're not releasing this. This is, and the second she's put in the ground, oh, suddenly this book is ready to go. It's
Yeah.
obvious they put no thought into whether it was worth releasing, how it can be improved, none of that.
Uh,
That's what that it was just total garbage.
yeah.
And yeah,
But you
everybody
read it though, huh?
I read it.
Yeah. They got you.
Instantly forgettable
Hmm.
and stupid, and you just thank God that whoever the editor was, she has a Wikipedia page. Look, I can't remember her name. Thank God for her, and then that's enough. We don't need, but I can still remember the one. It's almost perfect for a movie.
Hmm.
Great, more money for you.
I'm curious about what's going to happen with J.D. Salinger's estate. Apparently, he had like 5 or 6 books just done. And
Yeah.
I
don't know.
remember
I'm just
hearing
worried about that
stuff.
stuff too. I mean,
I remember hearing stuff that they were going through it, that we were going to see books, but it's been years now. So
I'm at the point now I hear stuff like that and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you then. I won't read your books. Like
uh,
if you're, oh, I'm a super genius recluse and I have all this genius I'm hoarding myself and nobody can, you know what? Fuck you then. Keep it.
well, it could go the other way. I mean, these, the rumor was that they were done, that there were these books.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he was not ready for the fame that came with The Catcher in the Rye.
Same thing with Harper Lee. Yeah, she was.
And it turned him into a recluse. So yeah, I don't know, everybody's different, so I don't give him a hard time about that. He had there was an article about him being creepy with a young woman writing him letters and stuff, and who knows about that. But I'm curious about these books, if they exist. Will they tarnish his image? Will they be terrible? Who knows? It could be that they are terrible, and maybe that's why they're not coming out right away.
I don't think that matters. Like they obviously didn't care about the Harper Lee book. They just shit that out.
Well, it probably has something to do. Who's running the estate?
Well, it was her sister, and then her
Okay,
sister
well,
died.
there you go.
And the second she died, boom. So, who's running JD Salinger's estate?
Well, yeah, I think he's got 2 children, I believe. One of them was an actor.
Really? Like a famous actor?
Well, he was in some movies. Yeah. I think
Yeah, that annoys me. Like, there's so many people out there so desperately trying to get people to read their stuff, hear their music, this or that. And we got these people, no, yeah, I'm gonna sit on my hatch, like a bird on eggs, and nobody gets to read it. Or, all right, screw you then.
Well, he had to do something with his time. I mean, at least he kept writing.
Yeah, he could have released them too.
He didn't want to deal with the fame anymore. I mean, I give him some credit for, like, he really wanted to be out, and he got out.
Put it under an alias.
An alias, yeah.
I find it hard to believe it's just so noble and the fame so much that he kept all this genius because he couldn't handle the fame. Shut up. You're JD Salinger. You could have put out a book and said, I'm not doing anything. Here's the book. I'm not going on TV. I'm not going on Shit and Shacker's morning show on Q94. That's it. And everybody would have been fine.
Like Thomas Pynchon.
I never read any Thomas Pynchon.
Yeah, well, he's a guy who, yeah, you've got like a photograph from when he was in the Navy. I think that's the last known photograph of him.
Yeah.
He's
it doesn't bug me as much as Christopher Guest with his whole unless he's being paid, he refuses to be funny. Like if he is in an interview, he won't be funny.
Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, I haven't heard that. Yeah.
I'm like,
how much do you have to pay to get the funny in an interview?
A movie ticket, I guess, but not the last couple of his I've seen. But it's just so insufferable. You have a gift that people want to hear, and they do pay you for it. But oh no, it's too precious. I'm not going to give my genius talent humor away for free. Fuck you. Same thing with J.D. Salinger.
Speaking of pompous,
and Derek Jeter.
Speaking of pompous.
Uh-oh.
Although I'm curious. I'm I'm a fan. I know. I don't know where you stand. He's a lot of people don't like him.
Oh, I'm listening.
Paul Houston.
Paul Houston.
Yeah, Paul Houston.
Who's that?
Also known as Bono.
Oh.
He's got a book coming out.
I saw
Surrender.
That. Yes.
You gonna pick it up?
No.
No.
No. I don't have any hate for Bono. I get it. I guess people get upset because they are so serious and earnest, and I understand it, but I don't have any. I've never hate, now have I listened to the last 10 albums? No. Am I gonna read this book? No. But I don't have any hatred for Bono like a lot of people.
I would say I'm a fan. I mean, there's certain records
Yeah, like all
where
their
it
first
fell
6 or
off.
7 albums, like everybody else loves,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Speaking of our dish, lemon. That was when I departed from YouTube.
Yeah, like Zooropa, whatever. Actually,
Zooropa, yes, yeah,
I don't even
Zooropa.
love Acton Baby as much as most people.
That's a great record though.
It is. It's
Yeah.
probably better than I'm giving it credit. Uh, like I liked Rattle and Hum a lot. Everybody hates that.
Oh yeah, that's but back to what you were saying about earnestness. How come, Bono gets slammed for being this earnest guy? How come Tom York from Radiohead, he's like lauded forever, I see Pitchfork keeps they have to keep Pitchfork
Well, he's
keeps,
never fun. Like at least Bono, if you see him talking or anything, he does try to be funny. Like
yeah.
he's a funny, personable guy.
He's not sour. He's not a
No.
sourpuss.
Whereas Tom York, who I'm not a fan of Radiohead. I don't really, but yeah, he does seem like he's just no fun.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Bono, if he showed up in this room, you'd have fun.
And here's the thing about Bono. And another fact about him that I had no idea of. I've been a fan for a long time. Actually, the first album. I bought the first album when it came out.
His mother dying at his grandfather's funeral.
Yeah, I never heard that story.
It's like Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
and like because
I think he was 13 years old. He lost his mother. I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty heavy stuff. And apparently, then they didn't even talk about it in the family ever again. They never mentioned the mother.
I read that. Yeah.
And I guess that's an Irish thing.
Yeah.
I kind of experienced that. I guess there's certain things happen in my family that were very hush hush, and I'd have to figure it out later. My mother lost her father at an early age. She was a teenager. I never met her father, my grandfather. He died in his 40s. He fell downstairs in their house, and it's a steep set of stairs because that's how he died. Yeah, he fell downstairs.
Oh
yeah, and it's sort of been implied, he was drunk.
Yeah.
Which I heard stories about. In those days, you could actually order a bucket of beer. That was a thing. A bar on the corner would deliver a bucket full of beer. And
nice.
But anyway, he was also he worked on the Holland Tunnel, which was sort of, I guess, as grueling work as you can get. I forget what the sand. There was a name they had for them, because they're literally they were literally digging the Holland Tunnel.
Right.
That's what he did for a living. But when he died, I mean, my mother was a teenager at the time, maybe just out of high school, and she had to basically help support the family. And it's one of, like, the proudest things about my mother. But get this, my mother never spoke about her father. She never spoke about that experience, what that was like. I only got this story later from my aunt, her sister, told me this story at a wedding, a wedding reception.
Wow.
So, this is an Irish family, and her brother, another sort of hush hush thing. Although, we were sort of in the middle of it. He was having trouble with his family. He was an alcoholic. And so he showed up at Thanksgiving with us one year, and we're like, what's going on here? You can just figure it out, read between the lines. And then he died. And then that was kind of all sort of hushed up, except then it comes out later that it was a suicide. And, it was basically a situation where he was estranged from his family because of the drinking. and then the suicide sort of ended it all. And that all came out at my grandmother's funeral, right? This sounds like some sort of, but this stuff happens every day, where my uncle's family showed up at my grandmother's funeral, and then it was almost literally like a fight in the parking lot because they were blaming the wife of my uncle for his suicide. And it
Jesus.
was like a clash in the parking lot. And I'm like, what? I have to piece things together because nobody gives you the actual story.
Right.
But I'm able to piece it together. Oh, well, this happened, then that happened, and that. Okay, all right. Yeah, this is what happened. Because nobody talks about it. That's the Irish way, I guess. And Bono went through it with his family when his mother died.
I read that. I wonder if did I read an excerpt from his book recently? It's been everywhere.
Yeah, no, I found out about it through, I saw an article online, and I was like, oh, geez, I've been sort of following this band for so long. I never heard this story before.
Yeah, he gets a lot of shit. Like some article I saw, he's like still having to apologize for putting that album on iTunes
Oh yeah,
or whatever for
the
free.
iTunes thing, yeah.
People are still upset about that. And he's
You got
like,
you got free music. It wasn't
yeah,
good. I mean,
yeah.
I got it and I
Free
listened to
music.
it.
God forbid you had to take 3 seconds to delete it if you didn't want it. And yeah, he's like, that's the biggest regret of my career. Like people would, that was the biggest mistake of our career. I'm like, can you imagine? The biggest mistake of your career was giving people free stuff and they flipped the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, ugh.
No, it's
I probably won't read the book, but I got no hate in my heart for Bono.
That's good to hear.
And then like name another band who's been together for 45 years. Same band members. None of them have gone off and done a quote unquote solo album.
That's true, yeah.
Eyes roll out of head. They never went through any of that garbage. Yeah.
They seem to all get along, yeah. Still, yeah.
They all get along.
Yeah. I think Adam Clayton may be sort of the odd man out, but
even then,
he's on board though. He's not.
Even then, you don't hear about any animosity in the last 40 years.
No.
They've had I can't think of another band like that.
They've had quite a run.
And they put out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 albums I like.
Yeah, no, they had a good run. The 80s through
they don't know
Hot Tongue Baby.
It's like REM. After the first 6 or 7 albums, they don't owe me anything. Every album they put out, kind of crappy. That's fine. Yeah. No problem.
Right.
But yeah,
we're glad to hear you.
About 2 hours here, and
you're defensive. You too.
Defensive? Yeah. I don't understand.
Well, it's hip to be anti U2. I mean, that's.
But I mean,
it's
the hip thing. For a long time to hate U2. Like we're talking. I mean, I kind of don't remember U2 without having that parallel thing of everybody hates Bono or whatever, because he tries to feed Africa or something. It's like, okay, well,
yeah, he sounds like a terrible person, right?
Terrible person. He doesn't even get a break for. Usually, people get all soft-hearted when these guys are still married to their high school sweethearts, which he is. He doesn't even get a break for that.
No.
Like he's been with the same woman since he's like 15, still gets shit.
Yeah.
So
I think it's his sunglasses, He's been pictured in too many styles of sunglasses.
Should be the sunglasses.
And some weird ones, very weird styles.
I mean, then they do the thing where every album they do put out, it's weeks and weeks of returning to their roots. Like I did see some dumb quote from him. They just made an album. They wanted to be, wrong and raucous and too disruptive, and I'm like, okay, just give me the album.
You're 60-year-old men, we don't need the raucous dudes in their 60s.
Just tell us you have 12 songs you really like. that you want us to listen to. It doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
we wanted to feel uncomfortable in the studio. We wanted to
Yeah.
be dangerous. Shut. Did you turn on your computers and somebody hit record and you played your instruments?
Uh-huh.
That's all.
You're an established brand. We don't need to repackage.
Yeah, I don't need. Oh, we're too disruptive and doing things we're scared of. We scared ourselves. Shut up. I hate that.
I guess that's where, some of the pushback he gets
Well, it's
comes
not
from.
just them. Every band does
Yeah.
that. Every band. I mean, everybody loves Wilco. I remember Wilco thing. I don't know how this album happened. Like it just, like really? Did you go into the studio with computers and instruments and somebody hit record and you play these songs? I think that's how it happened.
Yeah.
I'm not Jeff Tweedy, but I think that's how it happened. And I think it's easy for Bono once it gets chatting to eventually say something kind of stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see people getting upset, but not me.
Yeah.
Keep Bono.
Leave Bono alone.
Yeah, leave him alone. Just trying to feed the world and give us some pleasure through music. God forbid.
Yeah, God forbid. All right. Well, I see we're pushing it. So, did you get a fortune cookie, or are we going to dispense with that this week?
Of course, I didn't.
Okay.
And what's up with our song contest?
That's a good question. I thought you were in charge of that.
We haven't gotten any submissions.
Well, why not just you polish up your version?
Oh, mine too sexy.
You're just talking about going into the studio and
making it happen. I'm a reclusive artist.
Making the magic happen.
No, I'm a reclusive artist. I just talk about the song and then I don't do it, and then nobody can hear it. But I'm a genius.
Yeah.
Now I'm grouchy.
I'm sorry.
No,
so anyway,
no fortune cookie.
Fortune cookie. Let's just skip it then. I want to thank everybody for listening. I'm sure nobody's made it to this point in the show.
No.
I think I saw in the analytics that people listen to about 19 minutes of the show.
Is that right?
Yeah. I don't know if they go back and they listen to the rest of it, but incrementally. But if you look at YouTube, you very rarely see videos go longer than 20 minutes. So I think there may be something to that's kind of the median range for when people will get bored with a thing. So
I don't think they're making it 19 minutes of this one. This is not going in our greatest hits.
I'm sure no one's made it to this point in the show, but if they did, I would like to thank you. The one, I think maybe 3 people will make it to this point. I want to thank the 3 people who made it to the end of the show for listening, and just hit that subscribe button. And I want to. It means a lot to me. We're getting some good responses. Tom Sharpling has expressed his interest to be on the show.
What?
We're going to try and make that happen.
We should have said that in the first minute.
Okay. Well, this is like the bonus that people are going to get is that
now,
we're going to try and make that happen.
Actually going to happen?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Now, is he going to get upset when one of my demands is that, yes, he talks about Tony Shalhoub and Wings?
I don't know how much he knows about Wings.
Well,
but he's definitely will be able to talk to you about Tony Shalhoub. He's a big fan of his, and he will not disappoint you.
And I bet when I tell him my covering his chubby checker bit, I bet he'll be excited about it.
Now he's going to say, "Why would you do that? You're going to make yourself look bad."
He's going to say, "I feel like an idiot. I've had this for 17 years. I could have done this." And then he's just going to be like, "You're a genius.
You could be my disciple."
I think that's
worshiping at my feet.
Now we'll be fellow Jesuses.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Are we hoping to have him on next week?
Yeah, I'm going to try and see if we can work that out. He's got a busy schedule, so I'm hoping we can make that happen. We'll see.
All
right.
Well, we'll tell people throughout the week how those negotiations are going.
Yeah. The negotiations, yes.
All right, well, we're looking forward to that. And like Mike said, thanks a lot, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.